From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Time for our weekly 5 and 5, Barry. We're going to talk about mercy rule and whether high school basketball should have it. Is the Oklahoma City Thunder the best team in the NBA? But let's start with the coaching carousel. It is turning, and it's gathered up Todd Monken. But is he the last Oklahoma State assistant to go?
I'm going to guess no, that he's not the last one to go. I don't know anything. I'm just throwing something out. I think it's possible Monken takes somebody with him to Southern Miss. Somebody pretty low on the food chain at OSU, an assistant who wants to get a better opportunity. Mike Gundy's got a good staff. That staff has a bunch of good jobs. They're well paid, but somebody on the low end might be thinking, and I don't have anybody in mind, but they might be thinking, hey, I can move up, maybe be in line to go to another job with Monken as a coordinator, succeed him at Southern Miss if he becomes a head coach elsewhere. A lot of opportunities out there. I'll guess no.
Yeah, I would say that's likely as well. I mean, you've got these guys, they work together, they work closely for so many months of the year. Todd Monken knows the strengths and weaknesses of all these guys that he works with, and you know if he's looking to go down there and hit the ground running, you want to know who you're surrounded by. So you want to try to get a good recruiter. You want to try to get somebody that maybe could be close, sort of a right-hand assistant to you. I think he will take somebody, maybe a couple of somebodies. And you know what, Barry, you wrote earlier in the week that this turnover with the offensive coordinator isn't such a bad thing. I think it's the same with assistants. You bring in new blood. I don't necessarily think that just because you lose people that should be a devastating thing for a program.
You don't want too much of it, but a little bit of new blood's always a good thing.
All right, what about this question, Mary? Let's go south to OU. Will any OU assistants have new jobs?
I'm going to guess right now no. A couple days ago it looked promising for Josh Heupel or Jay Norvell to be the new coach at La Tech. Report out that Heupel turned down the job. I would think if La Tech was still going to come to Norman, probably would have happened. I think there's still some possibilities out there for Norvell, but I think the likelihood with each passing day is narrowing. I'm going to guess no. See,
I'm going to say yes. I still think there are enough wheels turning out there and new coaches, new head coaches developing their staffs that, some of these guys, you might see, I think the most likely is Jay Norvell getting a offensive coordinator job where he's the play caller. Obviously, he has that co-title right now with Josh Heupel, but Heupel is the primary play caller for the Sooners. I think Jay Norvell is definitely a possibility, maybe not only for one of these head coaching jobs that remains open, but possibly for an offensive coordinator job. I think they'll lose somebody, but I wouldn't be surprised if the staff stays intact. But I still think, I would say one is probably the over-under on guys leaving Oklahoma. All right, Barry, what about this question? Hey, is Oklahoma City the best team in the NBA? Do we have the best here in Oklahoma City?
I'm going to say right now, no. The Thunder has the great record, 19-4, but the truth is the Thunder has played a very easy schedule. Top-heavy in home games, top-heavy in bad teams. So I think the Thunder is an excellent team. I think they're a contender for the NBA title, but right now I don't think they're the best team in the NBA. I think Memphis has played a much tougher schedule, has almost as good a record. Same with San Antonio, same with even the Knickerbockers. So I'm going to say right now the Thunder has not proven that they're the best team in the NBA.
You know what? You say the schedule has been easy, but after seeing what Oklahoma City did against New Orleans, maybe they should just play good teams all the time because they were definitely not fired up to play the Hornets a third time. Nearly lost to a team that had the night before lost to the Wizards. Sorry, Darnell Mayberry, that's not a good sign. Darnell, our resident Wizards fan, but I think Oklahoma City is definitely in the conversation, but clearly the schedule is going to get more tough. I think the way they're playing right now, even if they had some really tough teams on their schedule, I still think they'd be playing well. I don't know if they're the best, but I think they're in the top 2 or 3, and I think that's pretty high praise considering the turmoil they had right before the season started. All right, Barry, what about this one? It's our fun question of the week. What's your favorite holiday tradition?
Well, if you're talking Christmas holiday, I have to admit, this is the table of truth right here. I'm going to make an admission to you. I'm not that big on Christmas. I'm much bigger on Thanksgiving. Christmas, way too commercialized. Madison Avenue is taking it over. But my favorite holiday tradition, we got some dear friends, the John Terry family. He plays the guitar. He's got 2 daughters who sing, a daughter-in-law who sings. They go around and Christmas carol every year, and every year they come to my house and they give me a personal concert. They sing "Oh Holy Night," the trio.
Your
It's a fantastic rendition. It's my favorite part of Christmas.
Your favorite song. I mean, it's
go.
last week's fun question
That's
meets this week's fun question. I tell you what, my favorite is going around to look at Christmas lights. Getting in the car. We used to do it on Christmas Eve when I was a kid, and that was the...
Did they have Christmas lights in Clay Center, Kansas?
Yes, we had Christmas lights in Clay Center. Oh, man. Yes, and we had
How'd
electricity,
they light them?
too.
I was going to say, how'd they light them?
Exactly.
Kerosene lamps?
That was how the grandparents got us out of the house.
There you go.
All right, so that's my favorite. All right, lastly, let's talk about high school basketball. Should high school basketball have a mercy rule? Barry, this is a story out of Indiana. 2 girls teams playing. 107-2 was the score of this game. Should high school basketball have a mercy rule?
Well, the answer is no, and this is an abomination, but everybody's focusing on the team that ran the score up and the team that wasn't competitive. The problem is the administration. Why are these 2 teams playing? Somebody is responsible for administration. OSU should not play Savannah State in football, and 2 Indiana high schools should not play when one of them is 105 points better than the other. We have the same thing here in Oklahoma, where Tulsa Union occasionally plays U.S. Grant for the sole reason that no adults are paying attention. Please, administrators, get off your cushy couch and get a hold of these situations and do something about it. It's not on the coaches, it's not on the players, it's on you.
Well, if there are no adults in the room, maybe they need some rules. And I think a mercy rule, I've seen it in high school football. It exists that if a team, especially in 8-man football, if a team gets up to a point, they stop the game. Why would we not have that in high school basketball, where you're just as likely to have some big discrepancies from time to time? And yeah, maybe this was a non-conference game or a non-district game or whatever, Indiana, however they lay it out, and so maybe these 2 teams shouldn't have been playing each other. But what if it's a district game, or what if it's a game that counts? They have to play each other. There are those situations out there. So I think you need to set up some rules. We see it in football. It works well there. I don't see any reason why you don't do it in basketball. Set up a mercy rule. Have it be 70 points. Have it be something outrageous, but give these teams a chance to not have it be 107-2. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.